Hey guys, I thought I would make a quick video here. I'm here with my ball python Jack in his updated bioactive terrarium. And that fresh green moss in there is looking very beautiful. And I just misted, just gave him some fresh water and everything. And my little cleanup crew is thriving in there. So I was thinking, yes, I see you. He ate last night, but he's looking for seconds. So, so I thought I'd do a quick video since I've been, trying to advance my care of these guys and, give them a better quality of life and better homes to live in. A few things that they don't really tell you about ball pythons. I thought that'd be a good topic to go over because it's such a popular pet species. But there's a lot of things that get neglected in terms of their care. There's actually a Facebook group called Not Just a Pet Rock, which is really good to join. Highly recommend it if you're a ball python keeper. But a lot of people, give them the bare minimum of care and don't really think about some of the things they need or tell new keepers about what they need when they're picking them up at a pet shop or something along those lines. So I thought I would go over two or three things that I've learned here recently. And if you look back at my older videos, I've kept them in very minimalist setups myself, so this has all been a learning experience for me. But through these experiences, he's gotten a lot better care. His colors have just really come out. He looks gorgeous. So let me give you two or three tips on the kind of care that can really give your pet a good quality of life and can make for a more rewarding experience as a ball python keeper. First and foremost, humidity is really important for these guys. And you see how he's kind of going around licking the glass. I've just kind of missed it in there. I have found they don't really use their water bowl much. They might soak in it, and I don't, I'm kind of limited on space in this setup. This may or may not be his forever setup. We'll see what my space allows. That's a topic coming up in a minute. Really, they get a lot more from just misting the enclosure, heavily misting it, I find. If you don't mist regularly, you don't keep the humidity high, you're setting yourself up for two problems. One, bad sheds, which ball pythons are prone to having if they don't have high enough humidity. And two, dehydration. And you can tell they're dehydrated. Their skin around their necks gets, right up close to their head, starts getting really wrinkled and everything. And his was kind of like that for a while. And I didn't know enough to know that something was wrong. But now, misting regularly, he's looking gorgeous. He has wonderful sheds. He's, looking fantastic now. He's posing for the camera there to show you how pretty he is. So really, you want to keep the humidity in a ball python enclosure a minimum of about 60 normally, and really higher when they're going into shed. I mean, right now after just misting, let me show you here. I've got, and this used to sit up a little higher, but snakes like to pull the gauges down. And I don't know if you can see that number, but right after misting, it's at 83. That's his hot side. It's a little on the cool side. I turned his heat lamp down when I was fooling around in here for a little bit, so I need to turn that back up. As the hot side needs to be just a little bit warmer. But anyway, so yeah, definitely get your humidity up. That's the first thing with these guys. Second thing, these snakes actually like to climb a lot. And, you know, I don't have a very vertically oriented setup for him here, but, you know, he loves winding around that branch. And, you know, there are now ball python keepers who I've gotten the chance to talk with online and, you know, see their setups. And they set up you know, very, in some cases, very elaborate branches and, you know, hides suspended in the air. And there is some documentation out there that in the wild, these snakes are very often found in small trees and up in bushes, and they are very active climbers. They're not just a ground dwelling snake that hides out in termite mounds, though they might during the heat of the day, but they do like to come out and climb, particularly at night. So give your snake something they can climb around on. So that would be point two. And point three kind of goes into the space. You know, they have to be able to stretch out. That's just good for their backs. You know, don't get the idea that, you know, they're never going to use all this space, or you're going to keep them in, you know, tiny little terrariums. This is a 40-gallon long, and he can stretch out in it. And like I said, this, you know, may not be his forever home. Hopefully, I'd like to get him a bigger setup and get, you know, more room where he can, you know, have a bigger tub to soak in and everything else, and have more climbing space and all that. You know, it's just right now space is limited, and, you know, maybe at the next house when we get ready to sell this one, that won't be an issue. But, you know, for now, just have to make sure to get him out, let him move around, get his exercise. You know, occasionally give him a good soak, although try not to do that too often, because I think in his case it kind of stresses him out. But once in a while, if he has a bad shed, I'll give him a tub to soak in. Really and truly, I've found, instead of, you know, putting them in the bathtub like a lot of people do, it's best to just get a big Tupperware tub, set it in an open space in their terrarium, and let them climb in it. But, you know, with him being the big klutz that he is, I have to be very careful, make sure it's one that's, yeah, he can't easily tip over. And the chunkier he gets, the harder that becomes. But anyway, so that was just a few quick thoughts on some things they don't really tell you about keeping ball pythons. So again, one, you know, make sure you're misting regularly, keeping the humidity, you know, at a minimum of 60, preferably higher, especially when they're in shed. Let's see. While I'm thinking about that, these mesh tops are terrible for keeping humidity in. And unfortunately, in a lot of places, this is the only thing you can find to buy unless you order online. But a little trick, if you're working to keep the humidity in, take a little piece of cellophane wrap and put it over about half the cage, and that will help up your humidity. And you want to get a gradient. So you have, say, this side over here is more humid and moist, and this side over here is warmer and drier. So it's important to give your snakes a gradient so they can choose. And if you can build a humid hide by like stuffing moss into a hide and misting it, you know, that's great. I mean, you know, this is kind of what this log over here was for. He's checking the camera out. And the only issue was, at some point, the wood kind of rotted in there, which is fine. The cleanup crew gnawed away at it. And at some point, he smashed through it, and he built himself a little burrow under the moss, which I guess works just fine as well. Whatever you like, Jack. Look at him. But anyway, so humidity. Another random tip on humidity. Get something a little better than little green and red Petco dials, little round things. Those don't really, you know, tell temperature. You know, get something online. This is a pretty simple and affordable one, but generally you're getting your money's worth with those. Get him. He's like, do you have more food? I've got a big fat rat still in my stomach, but I'm still hungry. So anyway, so yeah, point one, make sure they have humidity. Point two, make sure they have things to climb on. And point three, make sure that they have plenty of space, that they're not all just cooped up where they can't really move around. Again, don't treat them like they're a pet rock. Treat them like they're the wonderful, beautiful, living creatures that they are. And, if anyone has any other commentary they want to offer, I try to be pretty open about the fact that as much as I have learned, as much as I know about keeping reptiles, I'm still learning, and I'm going to be learning all my life until the day I die. So feel free to offer something else up. If you think there's something can be done better, can look into it. But other than that, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Y'all take care.